Hi, my name is Lisa Rusczyk and I'm going to do this wall with Airstone. Here's a piece of Airstone. There's 3 different types of pieces you could choose from. There's edge pieces, which this one you see the edges done nicely. There's center pieces and then corner pieces if you want to go around the corner. For example, if I wanted to go around the corner of this wall, but we're not going to for this project. You'll see some issues that might arise. The first is the baseboard. We're going to have to take the baseboard up. We're going to have to go around the sockets. So for the sockets, we're going to have to pull them out of the wall a little bit. And then this last thing is the floating shelf. So the floating shelf will have to be taken off and then we're going to have to put it back on after we're finished. There's 2 different colors of Airstone. There is gray and tan, and I've chosen the gray for this project. You'll see some of the pieces here. These are actually all corner pieces, but I just kind of laid it out and I decided I like the color, so that's what we're choosing here. This is what the boxes of Airstone look like, and I'm going to open one up for us. As you see, there's directions right on top here, and then they're all in here like this, labeled blue, green, and red. I like to also show you that some pieces are larger than the other pieces, but it's really just too high of the other ones, so they still fit nicely on the wall. Alright, so they tell you to icing them like cupcakes. So a thick cupcake, this is actually a little thin, but not too much on the edge. See, that's too much on the edge. I'll have to take that off first. Then I have been attaching them on the wall, I'll do it kind of in a ladder pattern up, and you see I've been using edge pieces on the side and no edge pieces on the center. I'm just going to go all the way up the wall. I recommend you buying this little trowel that they give you and having a wet cloth in case some gets on the floor. Here you see I'm making sure it's level. So again, going across the wall from the edge. As you see here, I'm just trying some pieces out for color. Like I like the color of this one, so I'm going to do this one next. So again, you take your plaster, and we're going to put it on like icing. They said put it on like you're icing a cupcake, not buttering toast, which I think is a great analogy. And then I'll put it on the wall. Notice how I'm overlapping the seams, so the seams don't end in the same spot. And I think that'll look nice going across the wall. Continuing to look for levelness. Just like icing a cupcake, make sure you don't get any on the sides, because the more you get on the sides it might squirt out and you might see it on the front, so try not to get any on the side like I did just there. If you do decide to stop, you need to take off this extra off the wall, because if it dries and you put it on the next one, it might come off away from the wall, so if you take breaks, make sure you clean that off. Alright, I'm going to start now working from the other side of the wall and work my way in. As you see, I just moved out the table, and the reason is my daughter's sleeping now, so I'm just going to do this in a couple of her naps. So hopefully I'll work about an hour today, and then I'll come back to it another day. I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to start with this piece because it's going to be on the corner. And then I'm going to go 4 high just like the other side, and we're going to try and meet in the center. Alright, I've come to my first cut piece, so I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie here and then cut it. You're going to need a spot in your house to cut the pieces, so I'm doing it out on the porch. Here's the saw, and I'm just going to cut along my Sharpied line. As you see from my mess, it broke apart in pieces, but you can see it did a good job, so let's put that one in. Alright, I've decided to put a bigger piece on this wall, but the problem is now I have to start doing more cuts around it and making sure that the seams don't line up, so I have to keep going like that. Charlie, are you enjoying this project? Alright, we're going to put the last piece of this row in, and we'll have these 4 rows finished. Alright, here we are in day 2 of our wall project. As you can see, this is what I did on day 1. It took about an hour, but I was just getting used to it. So today we're going to have to go around the sockets, and I need a screwdriver to undo those. So again, there's side pieces I have to do, center pieces, and you see there's smaller and bigger pieces that I have to think about too. Alright, while my daughter is watching cartoons in the background, you'll see I've laid out the edge pieces so they all line up and they're nice, and I like the colors, so I decided to do 16 this way. I'm also starting to lay out the colors this way, so I'm going to take the plastic off, and it will help me to decide what colors and pieces to choose quicker as I keep going up the wall. One other tip is, if you could see here, on some of them I did get some of the spackling on the front of the brick, and I could scrape that off, but it'll take time. So if I spend more time not getting any of the grout on the front of the brick, it'd be a lot faster than scraping it off at the end. Alright, I started going up on the one side, I'm going to go up on the other side. Charlie just got a bath. Hi Charlie! What happens when you do a project by yourself and try and film it? I do have Charlie. You're right, Charlie. I had a rock wall like this growing up at my house 30 years ago, and I still really like it, so that's why I decided to put one in at my house. And what's interesting about this wall is when it's finished, there's so much covering the wall anyway, like the TV and the TV stand, that you can't see a lot of it anyway, so it's kind of interesting. Alright, just finish up these pieces, and then we'll start doing centerpieces. Alright, for in between these, I found 3 pieces that are going to fit in between, with a little bit on each edge for the sockets to go under, or the covers, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, another progress report. You see I'm trying to stagger all the different edges. Now I need to cut this one next, and I'll keep going up. Alright, here's my workstation for today, and I can't videotape me sawing, but I'm using this saw to saw here, and once you get so far you can kind of crack it off, and you can see some of the extra pieces down there. Here's what a cut edge looks like, and a normal edge, but they're all flat. Being able to see all your work pieces in one spot by your work area is really nice. Hi Charlie! Alright, this is the end of day 2. As you see, I got a little bit farther. I still have to fill in at the top of the bottom of the sockets, but I'm realizing that my saw blade's getting a little dull, so I'm going to start with a fresh saw blade. You can see the mess I made, and you can see a lot of it's on the wall as it's not on the floor anymore. So, end of day 2.